Hi everyone, Amanda Brett here, watercolour artist. I thought today it's Christmas Eve, yay, and no one's here, so I'm painting, woohoo! So I thought I'd do a little video because in class we've been talking about, I can't find it now, we've been talking about little warm-up techniques and also techniques for developing your skill at painting with water and understanding how much is too much water, blah 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 blah. So we've been fooling around with so just look at this one here. We've been fooling around with this wet and wet thing, which I think is a really cool way to paint with watercolor. And don't forget, it is watercolor, it needs water. And sorry you can't see my face today, I've got no makeup on, so I'm about to go and clean the fridge out. So anyway, this is what I thought we'd fool around. Now this is my little Kiwi attempt at mistletoe. We don't have mistletoe in New Zealand, but it just kind of fell out of my brush, and I thought I don't even know if it really looks like mistletoe, so I thought I would just have a little bit of a play and fool around, but it seems to work. So before we start this, I just wanted to show you a couple of little things about how I work in my studio. I keep things pretty basic because I'm lazy. So I have all my cool colors in one bowl and I have all my warm colors in another bowl, and that's all there is to it. I do also have another little container. This is a specific palette that I'm working on for a specific subject. And all my lovely neighbours bringing in my rubbish bins. What a sweet woman. And so I do that as well, just to keep those colours separate so I don't have to keep fiddling through all of that. But today I'm just fooling around with basic colours. So I'm just going to shift those out of the way. Gone. And don't bark, dog. That's enough. It's just Ronnie next door. Good boy. Come and sit next to me. What a good boy. There you go. Good dog. So I've got this pretty gnarly looking tube, and I thought I would just show you that I like to start with fresh paint no matter what I'm doing, and I've always got my trusty pliers with me. Woohoo! So I'm just going to squeeze that into my palette. This is New Gamboge. And so I'm going to get rid of all of that. But as I said, I like to start with fresh paint. I'm a little bit twisted around here, so I've got to just to get, there we go. That's actually all I'm going to put in there, but I will just do that. Where did I put the lid? You know, it happens all the time. Oh, there it is. The other thing I do is I always keep the lids. So I throw the old tubes out, but I keep the lids. Because if you've got an old tube of paint, it's the lid that's going to disintegrate. That's what I've found anyway. So fresh burnt sienna, chuck a little bit of that in. A little bit of a pile going on here. I'm going to have to do something about that. I'll probably just end up turning it over with a palette knife just to get it to behave again. Little tiny bit of alizarin's quite dry. It's really humid in Auckland and New Zealand at the moment, and I'm finding my paint is going very, very dry very, very quickly. That's what happens in summer. Windsor blue red shade. Whoopsie, just about got it. Oh, just about painting all over myself. I seem to do that a lot lately. There we go. New so I'll just go through those colors again. So these are the colors that I recommend for beginners. New Gamboge, that's another tube of New Gamboge, permanent alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, and Windsor blue red shade. And one reason for these particular colors is that these are all series 1 colors, so their price mark is at the low end, and alizarin, permanent alizarin is a series 3 color, so it's a little bit more expensive. But apart from that, they're all transparent. They all work together really, really nicely. They make beautiful colours. I can make, with the red and the blue, I can make purple, violet. With the yellow and the red, I can make orange. And with the yellow and the blue, I can make greens. And then I can deepen them or warm them up with the burnt sienna, or just add little splashes of orange, which of course, in my view, every painting needs lots of orange. So just dump that for the second. I'll keep these out. I've made a mess in there, too bad, just so that they're handy. Okay, now also going to give my palette a spritz. I've already given it a spritz this morning, but I'm going to do it again because, boy, super dry. A little bit in my mixing area as well. That can go out of the way. I've got a tub of clean water to start with. Can you see that? I might have to just adjust that a little bit. Oh no, that's all right. Okay. I know I'm not crooked. Beg your pardon, I know I'm not straight. Is it a little bit? I think it's just moving around as the wind's blowing in. Tub of clean water. I like it right up, almost up to the top, because then I can do this, because I'll be able to see it. Oh, better turn my light on as well. I'll be able to anchor my finger, and I can adjust how much water by just tipping in the thing. But if that's why I like the see-through container as well, so I can see. I don't have to make too much effort. I am a very lazy painter, aren't I? But anyway, preparing my brushes, get them ready to go. So I'm using, what am I using? I've got my Da Vinci Cosmetop Spin Flat number 16. That's my scrubber. I've got a little rigger that is really old, and sometimes I say to myself it needs to be replaced. It's like $3. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And my sapphire Daler Rowney sapphires, which I really, really love. They're really great detail brushes. They're not so flash for washes, because I think that's a 12. The next size up is a 14. They're just not big enough. They don't go big enough, but they're super fantastic for detail. I'm also just going to use this little 1-inch squirrel wash brush. It's got lovely long bristles. 1-inch here too, 25.4 mils. It's just really lovely. Any flat natural bristle brush, I can never say it. Natural bristle brush. Yep. Okay, give up. Alrighty. Okay, so to start with, water in my palette, clean water. The reason I do that is because I'm a very heavy-handed painter, and I'm trying to, after 25, 30 years painting watercolor, I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to improve with my light. So there is my, see, and I just went, not too, just gentle, pretending at some points that I'm painting with a feather. A little bit of my alizarin, and sometimes it's dry enough to be exactly what you need. Don't need to mix it thoroughly. What I do need to do is have a lot of water, so you can see how much water is in that palette. Yeah, if you don't have a puddle to start with like this, if you're painting wet and wet, it might be a struggle for you. Let's put that up so I can see what I'm doing. Okie dokie. Right, let's just dive in. So the really cool thing about this is I can paint this in any subject. Just a scrap of whatever paper this is. I don't know what it is. Feels like something. Feels like Fabriano, actually. A little bit more paint. I haven't been back in. I've got loads of water here. I don't need to go back into my water. So what I do want you to notice today is how often I go back into here. I've got this lovely natural bristle brush, blah, 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 that holds a lot of water. That's it. Done. Now, the hard part for this is watching for this to get to the right stage. Now, you notice I am painting flat, even though I always say to everybody I don't paint flat. But I'm doing this for camera angle, really. But if I was painting for myself, for this, I might have it up on a little bit of a slope. I have these, I don't know if I've got one handy, 4x4 inch blocks of wood. Yes, I have got one here. That I got from the, you know, like the wood merchant. What do you call them? Timber merchant. And I just fish those out of the rubbish bin. And so I have actually bought lengths and got them cut down for students for my workshop studio. But they're really handy, and then I just, you know, with a board, I've got this propped up about that far. So I hope you can see that that's running down a little bit, and actually that is really important for watercolor, to have that running down. And if you don't have it running down like this when you're at a bit of an angle, you probably haven't got enough water, and it's therefore not doing its job. I wonder if I've got something to prop up on that's handy. I've got all this rubbish sitting here because I've been fooling around on all sorts of things, but not really getting very far at the moment. Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's see if I do that. Ooh. Typically I'm not a pad person. There, that'll do just for now. Can you see that? Okay, so it's running down a little bit, and I'll give it a little bit of a spritz with my water, just once. So what I hope you can see, maybe you can't, but I'm going to see if I can help you with it, is see the shine. There's a little bit of shine, you can see it in here, and that is virtually all over. So I'm just going to turn that around because I can see I'm going to grab things in a minute. Where's a bulldog clip? When you want, you cannot find. And it's interesting because I've got a million bulldog clips. There we go, that'll make it a little bit better. So I'm kind of waiting for the shine to go. So if you are in a studio or in your kitchen or your lounge, wherever you're painting, if you've got your air conditioning on or your heater on, it might be a problem for your painting. So you know, it's just one of those things you have to. I notice for me, I don't have aircon in my home, but in the gallery there is air conditioning unit, and it does muck up your drying times. I'm talking about it mucks them up. They dry unevenly, and that is a problem. Okay, so I'm just getting ready to. I've just got a smaller brush. This is a number 10, and I'm just going to mix up a little bit of a light value green. I've got way too much water on my palette, and this is wet enough, my brush is wet enough, so I probably don't need all of that. I'll just get rid of that. But I need to just dip in. I don't know if this will refocus, but I've got a little bit of a glob of paint. Okay. So I'm thinking right now about the background. This is what I'm doing, is I'm painting the background. So I'm not painting the leaves in the front. I've started in the distance and I'm coming forward. More paint. So I've got my brush. There's a little bit of, it's not really a point. You couldn't really say these brushes point, but what they do is they have a really great line on them. They squash flat. It's really cool. So I'm using that. A bit more paint and a tiny bit more blue now, just because I feel like it now. So it's gone a little bit greener. Can you see that in there? A little bit more solid colour. As I say, I don't really know what mistletoe looks like, so I'm just really winging it. I hope you forgive me. A little bit more of the blue. You'll notice that I haven't been into that water and I haven't been into that water. I've got enough here and I've got enough there for what I need right now. I think mistletoe is actually rounded at the end of the little leafy structure things. More colour, less water. Oopsie. That's why you need fresh paint. If you haven't got fresh paint, you're not going to be able to achieve this. I think actually I'm just going to go big colour now. I need a touch of water just to get it moving. So there's enough water here. I'm just going to pick up a little bit there. Done. That's all I need. And you can see I'm twisting and turning my brush as I go. I was going to go for that bigger brush, wasn't I? Okay, now I'm going to clean this because I'm going to go to, well, I'm going to do that first. Okay, clean that off. Little bit of a spritz. Ooh, now, burnt sienna. Haven't used it before in this painting, but I'm using it now. And while I think of it, this is just kitchen paper. So I'm just going to scrunch it into a ball. Let's turn that light away. It's causing a little bit of glare. That's a bit better. I've just wrapped it into a little ball here, not very big. Can you see that? And a strategically placed little white Christmas berry something. It's kiwi mistletoe. Oh, look, there's another one right beside it that it's done by itself. And maybe one there. So I'm looking for a dark area. There we go, that'll do for now. One more spritz, just because. Loosen things up. I've got these lovely soft edges. Look at this. Hold on, let me point. That might be better to point with. No, maybe not. This one. Okay. Oh, it's lovely soft edges. Look at that. Beautiful. I've got this lovely overlap here of this leaf overlapping, or maybe it's under that one, and then there's the berry on top. So I'm already starting to get that layering sense of something's in the distance, something's in front. These are in the distance, the soft edge. The more soft edge you've got, the further things are away in the distance. The harder the edges, the more these things are in front, in the foreground. So that's why it's essential to have soft edges and hard edges. It is essential, I think, to start certainly sections of a painting in this lovely wet and wet. You don't have to do it like this all over your painting. You can just do a little area, provided it, of course, it's in keeping with the rest of your painting. But look at this lovely soft edge here. Beautiful. Yay. So my job is to not come in and touch that. I'm going to do more, but I'm going to try and not cover that up, which is what I say to students all the time. And of course, as soon as I say that, it's a struggle. I get it, because I do the same thing. More paint. I'm going to add in a little bit of burnt sienna just to warm that green up a little bit. There we go. Okay. It's still quite moist and quite can't remember what I was going to say. Might go bigger. What I really want is a nice overlap of that lovely round edge there. Right here is where it's going to happen. A bit more burnt sienna because a little bit dry. I need some more water. There it is, just getting it from there. Don't need it from anywhere else. Just trying to think how to struggling to get that rounded edge. I think it's the way I'm handling my brush. So what you'll notice is that I've got my brush on the tip here and then I press it down. A little bit of a spritz. It needs some more of this lovely green in here. So I am going back to a smaller brush. So this lovely warm dark green, a little bit here. I've got a little, but I need a little bit there. I don't know why. My brain is telling me to do it. So I'm going to do as I'm told. Just mixing up some more of that colour. Now, because I pretty much always at least start a painting with those same 4 colours, there's no argument, there's no discussion, there's no, oops, neighbours gone all exciting with their alarm. Wonder what they've done. I don't know if you can hear it. A little bit more burnt sienna. I'm just keeping an eye on it while we talk here. Sorry. I'm just working out where to go. Oh, look at that lovely rich colour. Some nice overlap going on there. So while I've done that, just water, I'm going to also use my scrubber to get that light away again. Now this isn't firm enough, so I'm going to go back on my top edge. Cool. And I'm just going to sneak in a little bit of a round tip. That's better. And where else can I do that? Maybe here. Okay, cool. It looks good. And a little bit down there as well. A smaller brush. Do I want a smaller brush? Ooh. It's a little bit more of that burnt sienna. Taking globs of paint. Oh, and I need some more of those berries as well, don't I? and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, probably where I'm putting the berries is in the wrong place. They would be quite closer to here, I would think. But who's, that's what's happening today, because that's where I want them. Actually, I'm just going to take a light out of that as well. Cool. So when it's a little bit drier, I will be able to come in behind and deepen up if I need to. It's a little bit drier than I want to, than I can with this. So I'm just going to scrub out a couple of little roundy bits for a couple of berries. And I want them to overlap. I want things to be out of kilter. Look at this lovely soft edge down here. Muck that up a little bit with a weird berry in a wrong place. Okay, right, where is that rigger? Let's see if I can do a little bit of water on my palette. That's good because it's helping me to mix and load through my brush. That's the thing, is using the water, and how much water do you need to actually load your brush. Okay, it might be dry enough. So it's not dry, but it is dry enough for me to go in with some more solid color, which means more pigment, more paint, less water. So I'm going to start off with my lightest value first, pretending that I'm going to be capable of mixing my colors cleanly, which I have to get rid of that light. It's just shining right in my face. A little bit darker, a little bit greener. No, I do need that on. Okay, all right. So I've done silly things in silly places. I always do. So I'm just going to come down here and paint around that tip. So I've just really strengthened the value, that lighter value there. A little bit more water, stealing it rather than going in there. So the only time you've really seen me go in there is when I'm cleaning my brush off. And sometimes I don't even really need to do that. I do it, but I shouldn't do it. So you can see it's not dry. I think you can see it's not dry, but I still am able to make my paint hold shapes. I wish I hadn't done that little line work with the rigger. I always do it at the wrong time. But you know what? Bummer. Just cutting in around there. And I think I'll be a little bit definite. I think I'm going to pretend there's a berry in here. Don't like that little edge there. Okay, cool. And just wondering how I can get that to work in there. Just need a smaller brush. And I know I often say to people, oh, you only need a couple of brushes, but in actual fact, you need a lot. Especially when you're doing little detailed work. Let's see. Just want to make a little bit of a dark thingy. Right there. That says, I'm a berry. I'm a berry, get me out of here. That'll do. Cool. So I've got 4 berries. Big fashion faux pas. Actually, there's a little berry in there, so I'm just going to put a little, but he's hidden, so that makes him just that little dot. Okay. So there's my little Christmas mistletoe, wet and wet. So I guess my challenge to you is to have a go at doing this with different subject and try and come up with different subject that you can use this technique for. The really cool thing about it is that it helps me to build volume. I'm starting from the other side, I'm starting from the distance, and I'm working forward. I've done the distance, I've done things that are, okay, let's just talk about it, pretending it's like an aerial perspective. Well, it is an aerial perspective thing. I've done the distance, I've done for example, a bunch of flowers from the other side. I can't see them, but they're on the other side, so they might be showing through the gaps on a bunch of flowers. Then I'm painting the leaves and the foliage and the flowers that are in the middle of the bunch of flowers, and then I'm painting the flowers and the foliage and the sticks and twigs and whatnot that are in the front of the bunch of flowers. So they are the ones that we can see most clearly. They're in the front, they've got the hardest edges. The ones in the distance are the items that are in the background, and they've got soft edges on them. Does that make sense? I hope so. So a little bit of line work now, a little bit more line work, just a little bit. This one needs something. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. Oops, can I do that? I think I can. And maybe through there. Yeah, you can see you don't really need a lot. I was trying to think, can I work in some white gouache? My chief goal with every painting is white gouache and burnt sienna. A little bit too much water on there. Oh, could you see me mixing that? Where's my, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, let me just do it here then. This is my white gouache in this little, so you can't see it because it's white, in a white little hoofery-doofery thing. There it is there. And I've just given it a bit of a spritz. It does come to life quite nicely. That'll do. Okay, done. hope this has been a worthwhile little lesson for you. Keep painting over Christmas, don't stop. Let everybody else do the vacuuming. You can do all the cool things like bake a cake or make a pavlova. That's what I'm going to do this afternoon. Yeah, let everybody else do all the nasty work, and you get to paint. Have a wonderful Christmas, everybody, and looking forward to seeing you in the new year 2021. www.amandabrett.net. That's www.amandabrett.net. See you later. Bye bye.